Hey Kay, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thanks.
Good. You're calling from Canada, right? Where in Canada are you from again?
We are in the suburbs near Toronto, so it's called Ajax. Yeah.
So, guys, I'm so happy to introduce my very good friend, Sherry Ann. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to hear a little bit about Sherry Ann's story. We are doing this so that there is an avenue for a lot of other people to learn about different stories, right? And
Yeah, yeah,
everyone has a story to tell. So with that, I would like Sherry Ann to have this moment to introduce herself to us. Kindly.
okay. Hi everyone. I'm Sherry Ann. Kay and I know each other from grade school, high school classmates. Yeah, so long time, a very long time. I like Kay was saying, I'm in Toronto, Canada. I've been here for 20 years. I'm married with 5 kids.
Mhm.
And Yeah, so both of us are working full time. Kids are in school, so yeah, that's
How
about it.
old is your eldest, Cherry Ann?
Oh, the eldest is he'll be 26
Oh,
this year.
wow.
I
The
know.
youngest, your baby?
And the youngest is 12. Yeah,
12.
so it's
That
a
is
whole range. Yeah. Yeah,
that must keep you super busy, huh?
yeah,
So you're
yeah.
so you're now juggling work and a family. And that's
Yes.
always such an interesting story for me. So Sherry Ann, when it comes to your career, what exactly do you do?
um, I am a credit manager for a major bank. Yeah, so I am with credit cards. So I am in charge of, yeah, so approving, declining credit cards. Yeah.
So, when you were in the Philippines 20 years ago, Sherry Ann, was this the same thing that you were already doing?
Oh, not at all. I wouldn't have, yeah, I wouldn't have thought to be in the bank and in credit. So I am a psychology major. So
Oh,
yeah, so and I graduated from UP, and my career in the Philippines has always been with HR, so human resources. Yeah, so it was a huge shift
yeah.
from HR to banking and
Banking.
credit. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the kind of interesting shifts that I would really like to share and hear about, because it's a lot of times people kind of have this idea that once you start something, that's it for the long haul. But really, there are opportunities,
It's
right?
hardly ever, yeah.
Right. Okay, so
Yeah.
could you tell us about how that shift happened?
Okay, yeah. So I guess when you come to a different country, like so when I came to Canada 20 years ago, you have to start all over again, right?
Right.
Because even if you had your career in the Philippines, you had when you come here, you have to get Canadian experience
Right.
to get a really good job, right? So I had to do like temporary positions,
Yeah.
right? I had to go through a an agency, like
Mm-hmm.
a
Yeah.
employment agency, just to get my foot in the door and get the Canadian experience. So I did temporary jobs like a receptionist and stuff like that, admin work.
Right.
And then I started my career in insurance actually. Yeah. So yeah. I was with a major insurance company here, and I was there. I started with the administrative work, right? Yeah.
Right.
And then but I was also, I guess that kind of started my career into the business
Yeah.
banking sector.
Yeah.
So I was with the premium administration. So I was in the collection of the premiums, insurance premiums for the
Right.
different companies. Yeah. So that I stayed with the insurance company for almost 10 years.
Amazing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, so I guess the temporary job started it all, and then I got into this insurance company job, and then when I was during that time, I was having all my kids,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So when I had my my youngest, my fifth child,
Mhm.
um, it was just difficult to have two young kids
Yeah.
in daycare while
Right.
I was working full time.
Wow.
So it didn't make sense because everything that I was earning was being, you know, given
Funneled.
to the daycare.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I said, why don't I just stay at home, take
Right.
care of the kids while they're young, yeah, and then go back to work when they're a little bit older, right? So that's what I did. So I had to quit my job in the insurance company. I stayed at home just for about a year
Yeah. Yeah.
because it's hard, you know,
I'm
home with the five kids.
yeah.
Yeah. So I needed, and economically as well, you know, finances, you had to do something. So I started working at nights.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I would take care of the kids in the morning,
Wow.
take a nap, and then go to work at night.
Amazing. And this was
And
online work. This was like you going out and really wow. Okay.
yeah.
Go ahead.
And at that time, the only job that I found that was doing overnight was at the bank. So, yeah, so they had a position for a credit administrator
Mhm.
for the auto sector of the bank.
Yeah.
So we would process the auto applications and then the financing for the auto sector that the bank was providing the finances for, right? So they had a position for an overnight credit administrator. So that's when I started my credit career.
Amazing.
And funny enough, because my husband works at the same bank, but I didn't tell him. I didn't tell him that I was applying for the same bank. So funny.
Surprise.
Yeah, yeah.
That is so
And
fascinating.
yeah, so and then so I got the job and I did that for a year.
Huh?
But then after the year, the department was moving to a daytime shift. So they were closing the overnight shift.
Hmm.
So I said, I can't move to daytime because I'm still taking care of the kids. So I had to move to a different sector of the bank that was doing overnights,
Hmm.
which was the phone channel. So it would be taking calls from bank, you know, from the customers
Right.
and then helping them with their banking. And that was a 24/7 job. So they had the overnight schedule. So that,
Amazing.
yeah. So I did that for a year. I was on the phones for a year. And then by the time the kids were ready to go to school, so I could move on to a daytime shift. Yeah.
Right.
So,
That's really simply fascinating because it was really a move based on your priorities,
yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
you wanted to just make this happen because there was something that was propelling you to do something else, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the kids were fine. I mean, that's really a lot of moms have that predicament, and it's
Yeah.
a really it's admirable. You know the sacrifices that you
Thanks.
guys do.
Yeah, it was a huge sacrifice because I didn't get any sleep and
Oh,
I was usually sick because there was no rest. And then during the weekends, you want to be with the family, so you try to be awake
oh my
while
God.
everybody is awake, right? But
Coming
then you'd
from
have to,
right, coming
yeah,
in from your Friday night.
yeah,
No?
yeah.
Amazing.
And then you'd have to, you know, your body clock again, you have to switch it all over again to an overnight shift. So it was really tough for those 2 years, but you got to do what you got to do, right? Yeah.
Exactly. That's amazing. I guess, Sherry, and the question is, a lot of times when you do these shifts, especially coming from a medical background, one of the questions people ask is, how were you able to use what you've learned? Because there is this connotation, right? Sayang what I learned, sayang naman yung pinag-aralan ko. But then I am
Yeah,
sure that there are things that you were able to adapt also and to use, right? Could you tell us
definitely.
about that?
Yeah, definitely. So being a psychology major, it's really, you can really adapt it to different types of roles or positions. And it's more of like my schooling or my education taught me how to
Yes.
deal with different types of people, basically,
Right.
and how to adapt to different situations. So that really helped me. So it was, and out of necessity too, right? So combining the necessity and the education and the background that you have, then you can use that to, yeah,
Exactly,
to move
because
forward.
the message I'm getting, Sherry Ann, is you've got to make it work. You've got all these
Exactly.
resources now. You've got this need. You've got to make it work. And I love the
Exactly.
fact that there walang sayang, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
You have to be able to see the things that you can use, and then make it work for what you need. I love it. That's
You
really
have to be resourceful. Yes.
fantastic. So I guess one of the things that I also wanted to was there no opportunity in the medical field when you got to Canada? Or I guess licensing would be a hitch,
Y-
no?
yeah, yeah. I guess when I okay, so when I first, like when I came here 20 years ago, I was going through personal struggles at
Yeah.
that time with like with my own personal situation.
Yes.
So at that time, I was separated from my first husband.
Right, right.
Yeah, and then I had the two kids, so I came here as a single mom. So I was taking care of the two kids
Yeah.
and starting all over again in a different country. So it was more of like survival skills.
Yeah. I get it. I get it.
Yeah,
I get it. So what you're saying is it was not in your place to be choosy. Right?
exactly.
It was
Yeah,
like it was
exactly.
like, okay, whatever I need to do, I'm just gonna have to go in it and do it.
Yeah, yeah,
Amazing.
yeah.
Again, a testimony to the sacrifices, no?
Yeah.
Amazing.
And then so I guess it was a positive in a way
Yeah,
because it
yeah,
led me to different things that I never thought of, and
exactly.
it exposed me to different fields that eventually I could succeed in. So it wasn't just what I learned, in school, or what I had in my career in the Philippines. So it led me to different things. It opened new doors.
Amazing, amazing. Typically when I have these interviews, I usually ask about the challenges. But I think the challenges are quite apparent in your story, no? Instead of the challenges, I think what I will ask instead is, how did you navigate through these different shifts? I mean, was it just you talking to yourself and saying, head in, just go for it? What was that like? How did you manage to do that?
Yeah, like I was telling you earlier, everything, I believe that everything happens for a reason. Like um, first it was out of necessity because you had to, survive and live in this new country, but then it it really pushed me to be open to different things, and then that's how I was able to go through the different paths that were being opened for me, right? So um so i it, it was just going through the motions at the beginning, but then I realized, yeah, I can do this. And it was teaching me something, and it was making me stronger. It was,
Yeah.
building my confidence in myself.
Yes.
Yeah. So that really helped me. Yeah.
Because now you're also showing us how adaptability is such an important component, no, of
Yeah.
careers, right?
Of course. Yeah, definitely.
I love it. I love that part.
You really have to be adaptable to change, because change will always be there, just like now the pandemic. Who knew that this was going to happen, right? But we have to be adaptable to the different things around us. Yeah.
Perfect. Sherry, and how is the pandemic affecting your work now?
Yeah, so both my husband and I work from home,
Okay.
so yeah, so that's no issue there. The kids are also doing online schooling,
Okay.
so everybody's home. And yeah, so I mean it's been okay.
Yeah.
We've
Yeah.
been able to manage, and we've been able to get through it. Yeah,
That's
we
perfect.
just came out of a lockdown, so
You did.
yeah, so Ontario was in a lockdown, but then our city or our town
Yeah.
is now reopened just this week, but Toronto is still on lockdown.
Nice,
So
nice. Okay.
yeah,
It's been on and off this lockdown in your place. Okay.
yeah,
But I'm
yeah,
glad at least, they've eased up again. As we progress through your story, I was wondering, what were the major lessons that you've learned throughout your career? Whether it was something personal, or could you talk to us about that?
yeah. I guess for me, it was the main thing that I had was just to be open to the different possibilities in life. Always be open minded,
Yeah.
be open to the different avenues that life will take you,
Okay.
and that really helped me to start my life here in Canada, and how I met my husband. And yeah, so if I wasn't open to the different paths or the different things that were happening around me, I wouldn't have gone through this, and I wouldn't have met my husband. I wouldn't have had this family and
Yeah.
where I am right now. Yeah, so being open to all the
It's a big
possibilities.
thing. I love that. And I think, if I may be quite candid and quite honest, it's not very easy, for women, right? It's not very easy for women to pick up pieces from a previous life,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
Right. I
Yeah,
have a client
so
now
true.
who I am, working with, and really, she's struggling. But you know, to the to your point about everything happening for a reason, this
Yeah,
interview just happened just like that,
exactly.
right? And
Yeah,
now I am realizing it's more than just a career story. It's something that's really going to help women out there who need to pick up pieces again. Because look
yeah.
at your life now, how beautiful, right? I see
Thank
your
you. Thanks.
pictures on Facebook. I see your beautiful family. And I am just amazed at how God has helped all of that happen for you, because you kept on going, babe. You kept on.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. Lots of prayers, pray, every day. Just talk to God. It's not like formal prayers or stuff like that. Have a conversation with God, talking to him.
Yeah,
This is how my day's going. This is what I wish for or hope that, but everything happens for a reason. It'll take you to where you're supposed to be.
I love it. I'm so that. I'm so happy to hear that, because it's also connected to one of those guests I had who was talking about a prayer time. And then a friend of hers happened to say, you know what? More than a prayer time, have a prayer life. And
Yeah.
and that's what
Yeah.
you're sharing with us now, right? It's a
Yeah.
conversation. Prayer is a conversation.
Exactly. Exactly.
And conversations help us build relationships, right? And that's
Definitely. Yeah.
awesome. That's great.
So my husband is originally from Jamaica.
Okay.
Yeah, and we met on the GO train. So the GO train is the train that takes you from the suburbs to Toronto.
Okay. Amazing. It's a
Yeah,
public transport meeting, huh?
yeah. It's so funny because so every morning when you go to work, you take the train to go into Toronto to go to work, right? So I was new to the suburbs. I was new in Ajax, and then I was taking the train to Toronto for work. And then one day I saw this guy coming towards me, and I was so scared. And I was, like, who would come to me, and talk to me. So he introduced himself. He said, and I was even thinking, should I give him a fake name? Should I give him a fake name? And then, but I was so scared. I was so nervous. I just blurted out, "Hi, I'm Sherry Ann," and blah, blah, blah. And that was it. So that was just like a brief
Amazing.
hi, hello introduction. And then we went our separate ways. But I didn't know that we were going the same way. So all those mornings that we were taking the same train, we were going the same direction because our two buildings were right in front of each other.
I
We
love
didn't
it.
even know. And then we just started seeing each other every day on the train, and we started talking, and then we found out that we were, the buildings were right in front of each
Neighbors.
other. So
Yeah,
we would have lunch together and stuff, and then rest is history.
that is
Yeah.
so beautiful. That is just lovely meet cute story, right? That is what we call it. It's
Yeah.
amazing. But it's so funny, Sherry Ann, how when we're in a different country, especially when we're kind of navigating the territory, I mean, obviously our guards are up,
Yeah.
right? And
Of course.
strangers are like stranger danger alerts, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
But it's so amazing how you've actually had the chance to still get to know the guy and my goodness.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how
That's why
long?
being open to the possibilities. Like in the mornings, when you're hardly awake to
Yeah,
go to work, right? You haven't had your first coffee
yeah.
coffee yet, so you're basically, not ready to meet people. But then the chance was there, and it was the being open to that opportunity.
And kudos to your husband who took that chance.
Yes.
Amazing. So how long before you guys got married?
So we were together. So we did everything backwards, I guess. So we met. It was very like a very quick relationship.
Yeah.
I was divorced, so I was divorced at that time. He was divorced too. So we kind of knew,
Amazing.
you know what you want in a relationship when you've gone through different
Yeah.
experiences in the past.
Yeah.
So it was really quick for us, and so we knew that we wanted to be together. And then so we started with well, we had the child first. We had our baby
Yeah.
first. And then we bought the house, and then we got married. So it
So
was about
cool.
2 years. Yeah, 2 years.
About 2 years.
So we've known each other for 18 years and 15 years married.
Wow. So a very beautiful 20th anniversary to you and a 15th wedding anniversary to boot. That's awesome. I love it. And it's so nice because this interview just came at the perfect time too. Right? Talking
Yeah, it was
about it now.
exactly.
That's awesome. That's great. And Sherry Ann, I was talking to Yats, right? Another batchmate of ours I interviewed a few
Yeah,
months ago, married to a German. In your case, what were the tricky parts about, mixing cultures?
yeah,
There,
yeah. So you have to learn what their culture is like. The good thing about, I guess, from where he's from, we're both from tropical countries. So and funny enough, because when we were talking about our childhood, we had the same upbringing. So
wow,
he's Catholic too. Um, parents were, teaching them the values, Catholic
yeah,
values, being,
yeah,
being good people, being good children, following the elders, and
yeah.
just exactly how like Filipinos are.
It's
It was the same upbringing that he had. So
amazing.
um, despite the different countries,
Yeah,
despite the different cultures,
yeah,
there were a lot of similarities too. So
yeah.
it was
You know,
really, yeah, it was
that
really
is a
easy.
very good point that you make because I think typically we look at culture just because it's what's top of mind, but you made a very good point about marrying for the values that you share,
Yeah,
right? Because in
yeah,
bringing up the children, that is so important
it
for you
is. It
to,
is.
right? Amazing.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I guess when it comes to rearing them, it's there is no issue because really you're rearing them the same way you guys were raised.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, and it's being Catholic,
Yeah.
being having the Catholic values.
Yeah.
So that's really important. Yeah.
That's right. So you guys pray together as a family too?
Yes, yes. And we
Perfect.
go to church. Since the church is just open, so we were able to get. Yeah, we were able to go to Ash Wednesday Mass. So
Perfect.
yeah, so it was really good. Yeah.
Oh, that's really a big blessing because I know a lot of churches that are open, and some of the churches even gave away packets of ashes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Over here, what they did was they sprinkled the ash on the head, so
Right. That's
it's
a good
still
way.
no contact. Yes.
So, Sherry Ann, when it comes to, just the family, I guess, we can talk about career, we can talk about family in your case. Um, but I think one of the questions that comes to mind is when it comes to, your family and what you see for your future, right? What kind of dreams, what kind of things are there for you?
Yeah. I guess mainly for me is just to bring up the children, be good, teaching the children to be good people, be kind. So really our like my focus really is the kids.
Yeah.
And we want to make sure that we teach them the values that we've learned,
Yeah.
and to teach them to be kind to everybody, especially with the things that are happening around us, with being married to a black man
Yeah.
and the different things that are happening
Yeah.
politically,
Yeah.
right? I had to learn. That was, I guess, one thing that I had to learn about um, the circumstances around him being black. And for us, we didn't know. We didn't
Yeah.
grow up with that
Yeah.
experience, right? So I had to learn that too, of what the circumstances were for him.
Yeah.
And then now that we have black children,
Yeah.
so we have to teach them about that too, right? So we just want to make sure that they grow up to be kind, to
Yeah.
be socially aware, but be kind to everybody,
Yeah. Yeah.
everyone. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
And the two older kids are out of the house now, so they live on their own. So yeah, so it's just the three younger kids that are with us at home. So it's good to have technology to always have the phone that we can connect with the older kids. And so that's really great. It's being being together even though we're not physically together, so that yeah, that's really important. Yeah, my eldest, he recently bought his first condo. So he bought a condo with his girlfriend, so they're
Wow.
and the funny thing is that he didn't even tell us that he applied for the same bank that we are in, and he got the job. Yeah, I know. It's so funny. So he has been with the bank as well. So and we all started our career with the phone channel. So we all we're all together.
Believe
Yeah,
this. This
so we're
is
all
so
we're all in the bank now, the three of us. And my older daughter, she is a teaching assistant. She teaches a grade school, in a Catholic grade school in one of the different towns.
beautiful. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So the three kids that you have there, the eldest is in high school?
Yeah, so she's in 12th grade. So this is the last year of high school. And so she has her, teenagers have their own thing.
Does
But
she
she
know?
is busy.
Go
She's
ahead.
busy with her band. So they have this band, and she's the drummer. And
Amazing.
and they've been doing really really well. So yeah, that's really great for her.
One of the things that I hear commonly, I mean, it's typical because economics is in your face, right? But raising a big family is very hard, and that's the reality. But there
Yeah,
is so much joy too, in having
of
all
course.
these different people really. unconditionally loving each other. Great.
Yes, yes.
So beautiful.
It could be a zoo at times, but
I
it's
bet.
it's a fun zoo. It's a, yeah, fun loving zoo.
So do you guys get together on the weekends, or is there something?
Well, nowadays we can't really physically get together because you can't have different households together just yet. So we just do our calls and our texts for now. But before the pandemic, we would always be together, especially like even with my siblings and my mom. So we're all here. We're all here now in Canada. Yeah. So we would be, spending weekends together, birthdays,
Right.
holidays. So we're always together.
You
Yeah.
know, you're so blessed, Cherry Ann, because the support group, I'm seeing now that the support group is really wide for you. That is really
Mm,
awesome. That's great.
it is. It is. It was, and it's been helping us, like myself and Nick,
Mhm.
all throughout when we were starting our family, because his parents are here too. So yeah, so his parents were taking care, helping us take care of the kids. My mom was helping us too. My siblings are here, so it's a really good support system, and I'm really thankful and blessed that they're here to help.
You're very blessed, very blessed. Oh my goodness. So, Sherry Ann, I've taken so much of your time already, but I was wondering, as we end this very fascinating and interesting interview, is there anything that you would like to share with our viewers?
I guess the biggest lesson that I've learned is just to be open to the different possibilities, and to accept the lessons that
Right.
those paths take, the where your paths take you, right? um, every day you learn things you don't even know that you're learning,
Yeah.
just because you were open to the situation. So, and being open and being adaptive and learning those things will take you to where you're supposed to be, which is someplace good. Someplace good.
That's such a beautiful message, Sherry, and I couldn't have said that any better. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, for sharing
Thank
your
you.
story, for sharing all of that wealth of wisdom, and obviously also, I mean, the fun of living, in Canada.
Yes, yes.
So take care of yourself. I know it's very cold, but keep warm. I know you've got a lot of arms keeping you warm. So
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. It's my honor to be here with you, Kay. Thank you.
thank you. Take care, okay? Thank
Take
you.
care.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone. See you.